morning everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a video, so I wanted to put one in to remind you all of who I actually am and what the fuck I'm doing here. So, Purpose in Action is a coaching organisation on the surface of it, but really it is a vehicle for a vision of a more effective social structure built on trust and respect and hierarchies of competence. And the Noble's Path is a group program that is the main way that I'm working with men to build those trusting, respectful relationships and social hierarchies of competence. We've got to look around the world and recognise how bad things are. Now, that's not a very inspiring thing to say, David, and I do think that regularly, which is why I struggle to put out videos sometimes, I think. But for me, it is the most inspiring thing to look at the reality of the present moment, not to try and sugarcoat it or to make yourselves feel better about how bad things are, like knowing your weight, having a clear before picture before you do a program, an exercise program, knowing what your outgoings are clearly, how much debt you're in, all those details, facts about the reality of right now helps you to understand what the starting point is. The starting point for the world right now is we are essentially in a variety of wars already. They may be being fought in different ways, some of them obviously very bloody on the ground, but that's not the only way that war has been fought these days. There are, well, I would say increases in certain diseases, although whether those diseases are being manufactured in laboratories or not is a big question. And famine, we're not there yet, and I'm not sure it will go the route of the gulags. That seems unlikely. What seems more likely to me, given the way that the agricultural system has been evolving, or is being treated rather, and farmers around the world, is that the food systems globally will become increasingly centralised, and the nutritional content of the food coming out of those systems will be depleted to the point where people will be malnourished. However, they will have calories, so when given the level of nutritional education people seem to have, they'll just go along with it. So what are we looking at? Some potential for a marrying of Brave New World and 1984, potentially, that's one potential. So what can we do about all of this? Well, it's the same thing we've always been able to do before all of these seemingly pressing challenges that just popped out of nowhere, sarcasm, appeared. It has been to take responsibility for ourselves, to seek self-mastery. The basic framework I use for that is the 4 classical elements: earth, water, air and fire, because these cover all the bases, really, in our life. And if we can get a good balance and have those stacked appropriately, like with Maslow's hierarchy, then our life can be in good order. Easier said than done, fair enough, but nonetheless, if you don't have a map, then you're just flailing about in the void, which is of little fucking use. So other than personal responsibility and sovereignty and searching, seeking, grasping for that unique life purpose, which is accessible to all of us if we struggle and strive enough, it's also about how do we forge relationships. And today, communities have become so transient that people typically don't put the effort into forming those relationships, and they look around and wonder why they've got no support. So one of the main issues that has been in my own life because of this is, with children, a lack of family, a lack of community around to support with that, as much as there are individuals here and there who are willing to support the overall net of a community to hold up a family with young children. It's just not there. It's extremely difficult to have children in our society, which could be one of the reasons why people are not having children quite so much. White people aren't having so many children anyway, for some reason. So then we have a demographic issue to face as well. So there's lots of what they call it the poly crisis. It's a very, very challenging time, and we need to focus on those two things: getting ourselves right and building those relationships. So how do we build the relationships? Well, we have integrity. We do what we say we're going to do. We show up honestly with each other. We have direct, compassionate conversations with one another. This is what I'm seeing. I might be wrong, but this is what I'm seeing, and I think it's going to fuck you up. So stop it, I would suggest. Maybe the response is, thank you very much, I couldn't see that myself. Or maybe it is, fuck off, you've not thought about this, this and this. Fair enough. A real conversation, guys. We're not having conversations. On the whole, our society has become lazy, weak, pathetic, and it's absolutely no good. It's why we are where we are. Like I said, the opportunity to counter all of this shit has been there forever. Responsibility for self, committing to relationships. It's very fucking simple. Easier said than done. So that's what we're doing with Purpose and Action in the Noble's Path. If you're interested in hearing some more, reach out to me individually. I'll put my email address below if you want to send me an email. Let's sort it out. We don't need to be here. It might be that there are rough times ahead, but the way to deal with that is not to stick your head in the sand, it's to start putting in the effort now.